Susan Johns, Deborah Coolidge, and all right. Quorum being present, including Deborah Coolidge via Zoom, calling the February 26th meeting of the planning board to order. The first order of business is a public hearing for Novell Engineering Solutions LLC for site plan application for a solar array at 277 Gardner Road, which is tax map R6 lot 10B. If you'd like to come up and explain your project, I think you have an audience.
Good evening, everyone. Ralph Adenizio on behalf of Novel Energy. Good to see everyone again. Nice to see you.
What is your name?
First, Ralph Adenizio, Addonizio. It's kind of a mouthful.
Your first name, I forgot.
Ralph. That's the simple part, R-A-L-P-H.
Thank you.
The other part of it, not so much. Question why my wife even wanted to take the name. So we are here this evening for the public hearing for our solar project. Since last time when it was deemed complete, we had submitted a number of documents, and then later today, Emily had sent over some additional comments. We had reached out, and I guess there was some confusion, I guess on our part, because normally with a lot of the towns we deal with in Maine, when we submit an application to the municipality, the information gets dispersed in different directions to whoever has to review it. I guess that wasn't necessarily the case here. So we had sent everything over to him. I had a conversation with him, and then he sent back an email saying that he didn't, and I believe Emily was CC'd on it, and I believe the chair was also CC'd on it. He didn't have any issues. And I told him the same thing I've said before, that if there was anything that came up, anything even after the fact that you feel we need to address or you want to see, we will certainly make any of those changes to that plan. And as of now, he didn't see anything and he was good with it. But that doesn't mean somewhere down the line, he thinks of something, we are certainly open to adding something in. And then also Emily had a question about some minor wetlands disturbance on the site. That area is less than 400 square feet. And what it was missing is a line from the other one drawn to that. I talked to our engineer after I received that email. So if you want, we can send you over a corrected page with that line drawn to it. But that 400 number is part of the other number that's on there. It just didn't have the line drawn to it to point it out as you you pointed out. I mean, other than that, with all the information we've given you, if there's anybody from the public that had questions on it, or we're certainly happy to answer anything, to address anything.
Well, we'll start with the public. There's everyone now. And we only have the news, the newspaper online. Susan, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
All right then. Anybody here have questions? Comments? I'm not sure. I heard you mention the party you were referring to was the fire chief, Pickford.
Yes.
That you've been talking to, and yes, we would like to revise plan with that line on that. Or finalize it. All right then, at 7:05, I'm closing the public hearing. I'm on the planning board meeting. First order of business is the minutes of February 12th.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented to the February 12th meeting.
Second. Any comments, corrections? All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, review of Novel Engineering Solutions.
I'm in favor as well of the minute.
Thank you, sorry, Deborah. Thank you. I should have glanced at I would have seen that screen. Okay, so I never know whether it's copying me or text message from somebody else. All right, then, we have an updated, letter on completeness from Emily.
Sure, so I sat and went through all the application materials and compared it against both the site plan review standards as well as the solar energy conversion systems ordinance that is in the town of Wiscasset land use ordinances. Overall, it met the site plan review standards. There was just a few questions I had for the planning board to consider, specifically in section A, under utilization of the site, and section U, buffering. So the first is what Ralph just talked about with there's a small pocket of freshwater wetlands that appear to be disturbed as part of the site development. And the square footage of the area should be confirmed by the applicant as it was not easily located within the submission package. So as Ralph just described, it's less than a 400 square feet area and it's missing the line connecting to the other wetlands pockets. And Ralph has offered to get us a revised plan with that correction shown. The other pieces under utilization of the site that I had brought attention to is that under the solar energy conversion systems ordinance, it states that applicants submit an emergency action plan and operations and maintenance overview, which includes a vegetation management plan, and that both of those documents require approval by the Wiscasset Fire Chief or designee by the Wiscasset per the ordinance. The applicant, I state, should verify whether these plans have been submitted to the Wiscasset Fire Chief. It's not the planning board's responsibility to send them to him, it's the applicant's, and that should have been reviewed as part of your application review for the ordinance for the solar energy conversion. So Ralph did connect with Chief Bickford, who sent a response back saying that he's reviewed the documents and doesn't see anything that concerns him about the Wyman project. And I quote, "My biggest concern is with the process in which I was given the information 2 hours prior to the board's meeting and potential approval of the project. It would have been nice to have been given ample time to review the material in detail. I don't know where the communication breakdown was, but if I can assist in making the process more streamlined, please let me know." So you'll see in my memo that there was kind of 2 points, that the applicant should verify that these plans have been submitted to the Wiscasset Fire Chief, which they were this afternoon. And then I state the planning board should decide whether written approval from the fire chief should be submitted prior to making a decision on the application or having it as a condition of approval. Would that suffice? Given Chief Bickford's statement, it's up to you to decide whether that's sufficient for this application or if you'd want a condition approval that he have more opportunity to review it and make any recommendations, which it sounds like, Ralph, you're agreeable to, as a condition of approval.
No problem at all. When I spoke to the chief, just by background, 16-year volunteer EMT with 1 million hours of emergency management experience, like the chief. So I told him, again, whatever he needs, we have a lot of input into, we'll do it. So, if he, again, even if it wasn't a condition, he called tomorrow and said, "Hey, Ralph, I just noticed this," it's not an issue. So not a problem at all.
And then the only other piece to call to your attention is under U, buffering, as far as meeting site plan review standards. The solar energy conversion systems ordinance states that the boundaries of an array that border any road or any abutting residential dwelling lot shall consist of a vegetated buffer, the width of the required setback along that border, in addition to any fence that may be erected. Existing vegetation should be used to satisfy these planting requirements where possible. No vegetation or fence shall interfere with the required site distance for intersections. Berms with vegetation are encouraged as a component of any buffer, and the planning board may allow up to a 15% reduction in the required buffer width with a berm. You'll see that this is currently an undeveloped lot, so my question to the planning board is whether the vegetation located within the setback suffices to satisfy this buffer requirement described in section 16.11.13, which I just read to you.
My question is, how far is it from the 3.8 inches that you're using of the property to the nearest other residential property?
It abuts the other, remember there was a building and garage, if you remember. It abuts that. Okay.
The son's garage and house?
Yeah. those favors.
I didn't bring a scale.
That's language for this one, it's a separate lot. Stewardess is different from. So it needs to be screened properly. Now, I remember that was fall, it was winter when I looked at it.
It was winter, it was all hilly terrain. That's why I wanted to know how far it was. To me, it looks like a great use of the property, but if there's a residence that the bucks, it's gonna have to get buffered for that residence.
No problem. We could do a row of trees, the length of, around the array.
Yeah, we need to put it on that side. That's not a very long boundary. Before you won't even a park when it disturbs not that much, so. Some sort of screening.
We can do, native trees to the area.
Somebody will. And it will grow up bush and then. This 400-foot wetland, you're gonna fill it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
This 400-foot wetland, you're gonna fill it.
It's not gonna be filled, it's just disturbed area that's kind of falling inside the plan.
Okay. Can be done. Oh, that one up there in the corner?
Yeah, on the top.
Okay.
That was a good catch by her, by the way. I went looking for it myself, and at first it didn't pop out to me.
I think if you fill in part of it, you'll have to file a permit by rule, but that's a main DEP permit by rule.
Yeah, we're not filling it, we're not altering it.
Are we happy with his statement that they'll put some bushy plants along the boundary with the one residential lot it touches? Yep. Any other questions for him? All right.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you again.
I'm okay with that. That sounds good.
Thank you, Deborah. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the plans as complete, subject to the additional line being placed by the approximate 400 square feet of wetlands, and that there be native trees, bushes, etc., planted along the residential property line.
Can I
I'll
add-
second that motion.
Before you do, can I add that they will add the Emily's conditions of approval to the plan for our signature?
And those are all standard conditions of approval, so just that
Yeah, we gotta
you'll,
get those written into the ordinance.
yes, I know.
I'll touch base with you tomorrow on exactly how you want that on there.
She gave you the wording and it drops right into your box, conditions of approval.
I can send you the Word version too. so you
Okay,
can have it.
perfect.
And we don't need home resets, just 2 copies for us maybe, for us to sign and whatever copies you want for signature.
Thank you.
Okay, Deborah, are you seconding it with my addition?
Yes,
Thank you. Motion was to approve as presented with the addition of screening along the boundary.
Along the residential boundary, the addition of the line connotating the 400 square feet of wetland and conditions being placed on the plans per the
All right, I just didn't get the part about the 400 feet of wetland.
There's supposed to be a line connecting it to the other wetland, so that it's showed in the,
Oh, was it shown on plans?
So 400 square feet of wetlands, just to make it clear, it's 400 feet, I think it's long.
Again, any corrected sheet. Two for us, or whatever you want.
Yes.
You don't have to do the whole stuff all over again. All right. All those in favor? With that, unanimous. So, subject to some minor conditions of approval, you are.
I'm in favor as well.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you,
I'm
everyone.
bad, Deborah. I'm not used to having a member out there.
Thank you, everyone, for your time and consideration on this application. We did an outstanding job pointing out signs.
I just sent you the language.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Once.
No,
Once.
believe me, I felt the shame when you
Oh,
caught
yeah, I don't feel shame. All right,
Have a nice evening.
we have one other, PORC tonight for this pass on, for a public hearing, changes to our land use ordinances. Make all of the language read the same throughout the ordinance for what constitutes a temporary RV placement. We can't change shoreline zoning. It's not easy to do, so we made the rest of the sections of FEMA flood and the regular ordinances agree at 120 days, and we've copied the definition from
the glossary.
From the,
to the glossary, from the shoreline zoning.
no, from floodplain.
From the floodplain ordinance, so that we have one definition of what a.
It just conforms everything together.
So we will place that on our agenda for our next meeting, and so inform the newspaper, they'll get a notice, public hearing. So you'll have to come again in 2 weeks, or whatever announced it. We got cheated last time, anybody else have any other business?
I make a motion, we adjourn, it's 7:17 PM.
Second that.
Thank you, everyone.
I gotta be faster than that.
Yeah, no, that was right there. All those in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
So, I waited this time here.
I'm sleeping tonight, I'm tired.
So.